Mediterranean food that's really good for you.
Mm-hmm. And tastes delicious.
It tastes so good. But like pastas, that's not really good for you. But you have the occasional pasta because it's good.
Ain't no call like a beauty call.
Welcome everybody to Beauty Calls. I'm Dr. Z, and I'm really excited today for this special episode with a guest by the name of Christopher. He is a very special guest, probably one of my favorite guests to date. He is known to his friends and in the basketball community as CB. He is known to his family and schoolmates and teachers also as Christopher Zannis. Of course, I call him son. He's the one and only 11-year-old phenom, Christopher.
Thanks for having me on the show. And I'm really excited. So, what are you going to talk about?
Well, first of all, I know you watched the episode a couple weeks ago with Twan and AJ, and you were really excited to be on the podcast after watching that because you love the topic. I love basketball. You love basketball, you love health and fitness, and you're always talking about that stuff. And so I thought we can get your perspective as a younger guest, 11 years old, just started 5th grade, and other kids could maybe get some inspiration from what you're doing and learn from someone who is their peer, right? Mm-hmm. So as you can see, we're wearing our jerseys today. Of course, I'm sporting the Zannis. Go Giannis Antetokounmpo. And of course, you better call him Zannis. Represent Greek freak, not Giannis, right?
Okay. I have Lamelo Ball because I went to a Charlotte game versus the Brooklyn Nets, and I got this there. And Lamelo Ball is like my favorite player for Charlotte.
For Charlotte, definitely. Charlotte's been struggling a little bit, but things are looking up this year, maybe.
Maybe with Brandon Miller, they can maybe get a little higher.
We'll see what happens. So, what's your favorite team?
It's obviously the Clippers, and then after that, it's probably Sacramento. But I really like the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George.
But you like the California teams. You like the Warriors at all? No? LA?
I like Steph Curry a little bit. I like Jordan Poole until he got traded, but Chris Paul, I like him more, so it's better. But yeah, that's good. But the Clippers, I like them. Paul George is my favorite player. Kawhi Leonard is my second favorite player. So I really like them. They have been getting a lot of injuries when it comes to the playoffs. Paul George might get traded to the Knicks, where there's a lot of rumors going everywhere. But hopefully they just keep their team together and don't get injured and make a push for the playoffs and hopefully win the finals.
I'm sure that would be amazing. I know that there's a player for LA that you really like. I'm not talking about LeBron.
Anthony Davis?
Is it White Lightning or something? AR 15.
Austin Reeves. Yeah, Austin Reeves he's so good. He's like by far the best player in the NBA.
What? Wait a minute. Stop. No. He's not better than Paul George. All right. So you like Austin Reeves, a.k.a. AR-15.
I really like his play style. And that's how, if I were to go up to be in the NBA, which I want to be, that I would like to be his play style. He shoots threes. He drives a lot.
So he's like a role model.
Yes.
What do you have other role models in the NBA? Not people that you love, but that maybe you aspire to simulate their game.
Paul George.
Paul George?
He's big and he can shoot threes really good. He plays point guard sometimes, shooting guard, and small forward, which is kind of like what I play. I drive a lot, do full finishes.
So you got a well-balanced game, and you're the tallest usually in on your teams. Yeah. So you get stuck at the center position, and I shouldn't say stuck because center's a good position, but you prefer guard positions. And Antoine did call you impressive as a big guard. He loves big guards, and we're seeing a trend. You heard that? And we're seeing a trend to big guards
Yeah. Oh, and Victor Wembanyama. I think he's gonna be good.
I don't think he's going to be a guard, but he's got some guard skills.
I thought he playing point guard this upcoming season.
He might. That'd be crazy.
I think over the years, I think there's going to be more taller centers or bigger centers who have guard-like skills. Like Bol, he plays for, I think he plays for the Magic now. Actually, I think he might have got cut from the team. But players like that who have guarded skills, they can shoot the ball, they're tall, but they tend to be skinny. But the thing is, if they bulk up and they, like Giannis, then they could be very good. And then, I think they could be like greatest players of all time.
Yeah, Wembanyama's going to have to bulk up a little bit just to avoid getting injured. Or
if he gets injured, then he might not get Rookie of the Year because the new rule that came in, you have to play 65, and we're getting used to get like MVP, Six Man of the Year, Rookie of the Year, all those accolades to get those. So
why did they make a new rule like that?
It's called load management. But like people like Kawhi Leonard, who have minor injuries or want to save their talent for the playoffs, or are just tired from another game, just sit on the bench and wait, and they're still making money, so it doesn't really matter for them.
Yeah, so they want you to play a majority of the season to be eligible to win certain awards and stuff like that.
So, like, fans don't come into the building and none of your favorite players are.
Yeah, because the fans want to watch their favorite players, and so they definitely want to see who they went there to play. You were telling me about another change this season. What's that about?
It's about in the middle of the season. There's going to be a tournament. I think it's like by coast, maybe, or like divisions, and they play for like to win. So, And fans have not been liking the regular season. They're kind of bored and stuff, watching NFL games or stuff like that. So they made a tournament, so it'll be more excited. They go to more of their games. And if you win, right now it's just a cash prize for first, second, third, I'm pretty sure. And then, but in the future, he did say there's going to be stuff like you may get higher, like draft picks, just rewards like that, really stuff like that. Also, another thing that had been coming to mind was Adam Silver said he was going to make like 2 NBA teams. And one, they said maybe Las Vegas, maybe one in New Mexico, and maybe bring one back to Seattle. So how they do that is the NBA, each team can protect like 6 players, 7 players, and then they like draft out of those other players on the team and get like one from each.
Oh, wow. Is that definitely happening, or that's just an idea?
Oh, he said that he definitely wants to expand the league, and he probably wants to do that. He probably wants to create 2 teams so it's even, though.
Yeah, so it's 16 and 16.
Yeah, I definitely think that New Mexico, they said, was a really good pick, but elevation is so high. It's higher than Denver. It's super high, so that'll be hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so you obviously watch a lot of basketball, play a lot of basketball, love the NBA. Do you see the NBA in your future in some way? You want to play for the NBA?
I want to play for the NBA. I want to play for the Miami Heat. Okay, we're not. I could get drafted to like Minnesota, but first I got to get there. So I have a diet, I have a fitness plan, I have a schedule.
So you've already made up your plan to get to the NBA. So
a lot of hard work, but I think if I every day for a long time and work really hard at it, that's fine. Yeah, I think I can.
So you're 11 now. Are you planning on a college career?
Yes. I think I am probably going to college, which will be my choice always. UNC, I attend a year of the camps there. We stay overnight for like 5 days, meet the players, learn so much. It's so fun. But I really like UNC. Playing that. Of course, they got a new player they trained Caleb Love, and now they have this one guy named Elliot Cadden or something. And he came, and he had a broken foot, so he couldn't play, but it was really cool to see him. We got some signatures.
I know you met the coach.
Yeah, Hubert Davis, yeah, and he got signatures. I got some signatures.
So you want to go to college, and then, so that's going to give you experience. So let's back up a little bit. All right, 5th grade. You're playing at Upward sometimes. church league.
I'm gonna start playing at like the Y and other more advanced leagues, which are like.
But you guys won the championship at the Y last year.
Oh yeah, I did play 8th grade Y last year, middle school, and I'm gonna start playing higher levels so I can get higher competition. It's gonna be so exciting. So I'm gonna try to play as much basketball I can,
and then hopefully make it to a college team. Now, you've talked about. So obviously, we live in New Bern, which is a small town. Yes. It's a great town, but it's small. There's not a lot of the same advantages you get in bigger cities. So
good trainers, good food.
Yeah, and exposure. So like if you lived in LA or California and you had, all these leagues and great AAU teams and you had big time basketball high schools and trainers, like if you went to Sierra Canyon or Chino Hills or all these places, you'd be in the spotlight and you'd have more of a head up, right? Yeah. Or you'd have a leg up on the competition. How can you make it into the league from a small place like this?
Well, I remember you mentioned AAU, and I think that's a really good thing to do. If I'm like, you could always go to a bigger place to play AAU, for example, like Raleigh or somewhere, another place in, I don't know, Charlotte, somewhere in North Carolina, or just play for AAU here, because that's really how you get seen playing AAU. There's scouts there. And really, if you play a small Serbia or not really a good AAU team, there's still going to be other AAU teams that are so much better than yours. That are so good. So you'll probably get seen doing that. But if you don't, you could use social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and stuff like that, and show your skills on that, and maybe you can get seen.
Mm-hmm. I think that's probably more difficult. But there's been players who made it into the professional sports from our town. Yeah. Football, NFL, even basketball. Twan played pro. Yeah. And then just down the street in Kinston, there was Brandon Ingram. Yes. And he's a star.
He's really good. He's playing on the USA team right now, which I'm kind of rooting for to win it all. So.
Oh, I bet. So it's always possible if you put your mind to it, you work hard, and you have a plan, which you've got a great plan. So that's kind of, tell me about, you said you're starting a new routine on Monday. Yes. A new routine for health and fitness and basketball. You mind sharing some of that with us in case there's some other kids that could benefit from that?
So how am I going to be doing it? I don't remember. I don't know the exact days I'm going to be doing each things, but this is like a couple of days I'm just going to tell you, share with you. One thing I definitely want to do is I want to get like higher vertical, do that. So I'm going to go to a local gym or places like that where they have a Vertimax and I can use it. And if you don't know what a Vertimax is, it's like a little machine where you like hook up like straps and like for just this band and you could jump and improve your vertical. So that's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to be making myself go to the gym a lot more, the Y, and we have some weights at home that I could use and work on my body, triceps, biceps, legs. Ab workouts is going to be another day. Another day also is really good, just practicing your basketball skills. I don't know, 2 hours, 1 hour, whatever you can put into it. Just dribbling on the court, shooting, trying to get up a lot of shots. Also go to your local gym and find a shooting machine. Shooting machines are so beneficial because you can just shoot and shoot and shoot. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to go out a rebounder, it just shoots at it. Like in 1 hour you can get like 500.
Yeah, you could probably get a lot more shots in than if you're having to go grab the ball every time. Cool. So you're going to start doing that.
Also, I'm going to start doing a diet, which I have been starting for the past couple weeks, maybe a month now. And basically, that's just going to have a lot less sugar. Or what is that called? Processed foods.
And added sugar.
Oh, yeah, and processed foods. And those are really bad for you. Stuff that's genetically modified, stuff like that. So I'm going to start, like, if you're going to have breakfast, you might think of, breakfast, I'm going to have some sugary cereal and some Pop-Tarts. But think of, like, eggs, oatmeal, stuff like that that is better for you. Mm-hmm. Or if you want to have like dinner or something. Don't have like a juicy cheeseburger. Have something like a salad and some chicken. But you can have some cheat days. Like you don't, or some cheat meals or stuff like that. You don't need to have like go super crazy for. I'm going pretty strict, but like you.
Because you want to build your body.
Yes.
That's a good goal.
And gain muscle mass.
I think you mentioned sugar. That's something I've been looking into a lot lately because everywhere you look, sugar is added to our food. Everything.
Even milk, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just saw this morning when I was having, it was like a zero sugar cereal, which I made sure because we have a lot of that zero sugar stuff that's just so much better for you. And like oat milk and like almond milk have like 13 added sugar to 8 added sugar, which isn't terrible. But if you have normal milk or stuff like that, it's like there shouldn't be sugar in that stuff.
Not added.
No.
Right.
Like, there could be like normal sugar, but you can do like sugar alcohols or which is not alcohol. It's just additives that are like not sugars. They're made natural sweeteners. Stuff like erythritol or stevia, which you can have stuff like that, or monk fruit extract, stuff like that doesn't hurt your body. It's not sugar, it's not processed. All it is just like, I don't know, like a fruit or like a leaf, and you just like crush it up and
like stevia.
It's sweet. Well, the thing of strawberry sweetness, you take out the sweetness and you add it to something. It's like that. It's so much better for you because that's like natural sweetness. It's not.
Well, and it's much better to have the whole fruit with its natural fructose than to squeeze it or get the juice out of it. Did you know that?
Because it's like concentrated and that's like straight sugar. The good stuff is like, say an orange, you know, all that like pulp stuff, that's what's good for you.
Yeah,
you
because it's got fiber.
All the orange stuff and all that stuff, it's really not that good for you.
That's right. Orange juice is much worse for you than just an orange.
I was so surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
Wait, what? But it's just orange. Well, it's still, you like, say like dried fruit, you dry fruit, oh, there's a dry grape or something, or I don't know, raisin, or like a mango, you could be having like a little piece, and it could be like a whole mango. So you still gotta wash out, because you can't overload it and even if it's good.
That's right. That's very wise. Everything in excess can be damaging.
Yes, even if you have too much water, you can eat yourself.
That's true too. Do you stay well hydrated?
Yes, very well hydrated. That's a big thing.
I know it's a big thing for your brother too.
Yes, so...
Alexander's huge on hydration.
Yes, it is literally just all water for him. Like one time he played basketball or something, and he got super tired because there was so much conditioning, and he just didn't want to feel that lightheaded again, so he just drank a lot of water. That's a big thing.
And he has electrolytes now too.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of water. My favorite like sports drinks are probably Prime. I don't really like it. Tastes a little too sweet for me, but some of the flavors I like. But I like Body Armor. I really like that. A lot of NBA players have that. It's made with erythritol and stevia. It's just really good. It's good for you. Body Armor, like the exact, because the other ones have sugar. It's so good for you. It tastes good. Nutrition. Propel's pretty good. Stuff like that. But Propel does have sucralose. Aspartame and sucralose, which is like Coke and Diet Pepsi, and Coke Zero. They have aspartame and sucralose, which is not good for you. I mean, sucralose is better than aspartame, but they're just not good for you.
They're artificial.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Probably better than sugar, but they're not that much better.
I'm impressed with all your knowledge about sugar substitutes and diet. How do you acquire all this knowledge? Are you reading books about nutrition? Are you watching YouTube videos? Are you just like, where do you absorb it from?
I don't exactly know all of it, but I have read some nutrition books. In school, it was actually one I learned about all that stuff, fat cells, how that works and stuff. But YouTube, that's where I get a lot of stuff. YouTube channels that talk all about that stuff. My mom has a magazine that talks about all those food and stuff. So really anything you could find. Say you're on YouTube and you, instead of doing like something, I don't know, that's really useless or something, that's just straight entertainment, just do something that you can learn, but you can still squeeze in that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun. I watch YouTube all the time to learn things and sometimes just for fun too.
You can't overload it with YouTube. You gotta get active. And say you have a lot of food, calories, even if it's good for you, but you don't get any active, that could turn into fat cells. But if you're doing energy, that food you just ate, you burn that. But if you do a lot of energy, you can burn those fat cells that you just ate, but also from your stored fat. So you can burn those fat cells too. But that doesn't mean you should like fast or not eat, because that can, I mean, it's good for you, but you really have to eat if you really want to grow or build muscle. So that's the big thing. I'm saying you shouldn't fast. I usually don't have breakfast, but that's just a personal opinion because I wake up late and I just feel like breakfast.
Well, there's a lot of talk about intermittent fasting, which as a kid, you got to be careful. You don't want to do whatever you see the adults telling you to do on the health channels. But intermittent fasting, I guess if you skipped breakfast, you'd be fine, and it might even be better. It might enhance the quality of your cells.
Don't like skip just because you learn what I say. Like the more, like you say, you're like, oh, but if I didn't eat that, then I wouldn't have to burn that. I could burn straight from the fat. Well, you could, but not really. You're not even burning that much. Like if you skip that, it's really just not good for you. And sometimes it won't even burn from that. It doesn't feel good. Just don't do it. Like if you're older, then you can do intermittent fasting or something like that. That's fine. Intermittent fasting is just where you don't eat for certain periods of time. It's not like whole days. I mean, sometimes it can be whole days. Yeah, but you also, if you're doing intermittent fasting, but if you're not moving at all, then it's not even good for you at all. You have to be actively working out, even if you have like a 10-minute walk or 30-minute walk every day, or like a little jog. It's great for you. You get on the treadmill. Well, it doesn't have to be lifting weights. You're deadlifting, you're bench pressing, dumbbell curls or stuff like that. You don't even have to do that. You should just get active.
I'd like to pause for a minute to make an announcement to our viewers. You're listening to some amazing advice from Christopher Zannis. I think a lot of it is right on the money, but I'd like to remind you, he is neither a dietitian nor a physician, so this is not to be construed as medical advice, just the opinion of our guest.
Okay.
Hey, gotta say it for liability purposes.
But in the link in the description, I can tell you, or it will be listed there, what I learned this stuff from. And
Your sources?
Yes, and these sources will out.
Well, you're gonna have to give me a list of sources if you want me to put them in the description. All right. So let's move on to another topic. We talked about the NBA, your aspirations, your fitness plan, your diet advice, health in general. Any other things that you'd like to add about just the healthy lifestyle in general? You said stay active, avoid sugar. You talked about all that. Drinking water. Anything that you see very prevalent amongst your peers that you'd like to encourage them to change because you have learned something special? What's that?
So if you have snack food or a candy or anything like that, a lot of it has red 40, which is a dye.
Oh no, I've heard about the red 40 before.
Flaming hot Cheetos, hot cookies, stuff like that is really bad.
Why is red 40 bad?
I don't exactly know, but it's like
poisonous?
No, it's
toxic.
It's not like it won't kill you, but it's just not good for you. One, you could lose weight, or you could gain weight because it's toxins. But it's
unnatural.
Yeah, it's unnatural.
It might be bad for your gut too. I don't know.
Bad for your gut. It's just not good.
I think it's bad for your brain.
Yeah, it is bad for your brain. There have been multiple studies saying that. It's not for exact, but kids have been having getting mad at their parents and stuff like that because if they're having excessive amount of Takis or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I would stay away from it.
I have heard that it can cause for some individuals behavioral issues. That's true. You're starting to sound like your dad. There have been studies that proved. Good job.
Yeah, it's not good for you. Stay away from that stuff. I mean, if you're gonna have any talkies, which I recommend you not have the good ones. Not even things.
I think that the bottom line is eat real food, whole foods, natural things, not packaged and processed stuff that's made in a factory.
If you look at the ingredients, if it has like 50 ingredients, it's like carrots or something that has like 50 ingredients. Don't get it. Have stuff that has like few ingredients. Even like chocolate bars, like Mr. Beast Feastable bars, they have 5 ingredients, which is good for you.
The best is if it's just one ingredient.
Yes, like broccoli. If you were to have like a cup of like chips, it will like sustain like a lot of it. It'll be like the same amount as just like a couple broccoli things.
Mm-hmm.
So you could really just fiber is good for you. Also, if you have something like, I don't know, sugar, Twinkies and stuff like that, then if you eat a lot of it, and then you'll like get hungry faster. And if you go to eat more of that stuff, you'll get weight and gain weight and stuff like that. You won't, if you just have a little bit, like so often, you'll be fine. But don't overload it, because you say you need a Twinkie, right? And then you're like, oh, I'm still hungry. Just a little bit later, you're probably going to go for another Twinkie.
You're saying is those kind of foods don't satiate you,
They don't.
which means they don't make you feel full or satisfied.
Something like protein or like meat, like steak, then it'll keep you full, or like eggs for longer. Or something like watermelon. This is good because it has a lot of water. Lettuce, like 95% water. Cucumber, stuff like that. Some bottled water. It'll make you feel like you're full, even though there's not that much food in it. It's just water. And watermelon, of course, is good for you. It's just fruit and like natural sweetness and water, so it's good for you. Eat stuff like that. Or like if you want a dessert,
It probably has vitamins in it too.
yeah. If you want a dessert, you think of like ice cream sundaes, all that sugary stuff, any cookie sandwiches or whatever, or like cookie cake, I don't know, any of that stuff. Fruit in general, when it was made, dessert was made just like for like sweet treat. But usually in the olden days and stuff like that, they had fruit. Like if you have a banana or any of that stuff, like a watermelon, grapes, pineapple.
Well, I think that some people are just addicted to the sugar, and I've liked sugar a lot as well. But the thing is that if I had my choice, I would pick great, fresh, juicy fruits for dessert every day. If I could get watermelon, peaches, nectarines, kiwis, and that's great. But a lot of people fall into the trap because fruit's expensive, it perishes quickly, and it takes some time to buy it regularly, to clean it, to chop it up. But that's not a good excuse for just having some junk in your freezer that you could just grab at any time and eat this high fructose corn syrup garbage that's going to hurt your body. So it does take an effort and time to do, but I think the benefits are well worth it. And if it was just there for you and you could pick either one, like your body doesn't really feel good after eating all that sugary stuff.
You recently mentioned to me about corn and stuff like that, how they've been genetically modifying that. Can you tell me about that a little bit?
I thought I was doing the interview here. No.
I think the viewers would like to know about that. So it was very interesting. I heard you say it's very interesting.
Are you talking about maize from the old days? Like with the original corn compared to corn today? Well, corn used to be very small. It was called maize, like when the Native Americans grew it.
Talking about like when you put the weed killer.
Oh yeah, well, it's been changed over time through breeding and then more recently through genetic modification to get bigger and juicier and stuff like that. But they also have done heavy genetic modification so that it can withstand the weed killers that they're using. So they're not affected by it. So corn crops can be just completely covered with glyphosate, which is what's in Roundup. And it'll kill all the weeds, but it won't kill the corn. So that's why they genetically modify it so bad.
Soak it in it.
Yeah, and then we're eating that, and it's really bad. I mean, it's poisonous. It causes leaky guts and all other sorts of problems that it's really hard to find products that aren't somehow infiltrated with weed killer unless you get purely high quality organic, and then you get back to the problem.
Or what my mom does, she has like a raised garden. We grow a lot of our own stuff, and we don't put that stuff on it. So
your mom sounds really cool.
But yeah, so it's really cool having that.
Grow your own. Yeah. If you can't afford to buy organic stuff at the farmer's market or whatever, grow your own. How about if you live in a congested urban setting, a city like Manhattan or something, and you have an apartment and no yard? How are you supposed to grow your own food?
You really can't. I don't think you can. I mean, unless you know the way. I don't really know.
I mean, no. Unless you have like a little container garden on your porch or something.
You could like order in from like a farm or something. Because like a little bit ago, maybe like 2 months or something, maybe 3, my mom went to this little, with me, I was in the car after school, and there was like this little market from like a farm, like a little,
Like a produce stand.
yeah. And they had all natural stuff, and it was all really good for you because it could have been glyphosate on it.
Yeah, because you don't know if it was organic.
But it's still probably better for you than stuff that is,
Uh-huh.
if it's like stored or somewhere, or it's like frozen. But it's still good for you. But growing your own stuff is really the way to do it. It's the best way to do it. Also, it's really not that hard to make like a tree or something. There's some YouTube videos I watch where you just like cut open an avocado and you just like put it in some water and stuff like that and put it in bags. So like, I don't know. And then it like grows and you could grow it yourself. But if you really don't want to do that,
You can buy organic at the supermarket.
and there's like,
It's more expensive, but I mean, it's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it. And I used to think it was all just a scam to make more money, like organic. But when it comes to the weed killer,
you could live so much longer. Like, what would you rather have? Like, not be as like have as much money, or live like 5 years longer? Or that was just an example.
yeah, absolutely.
5 years longer. Also, if you're not having a lot of your like food, you're just having Twinkies, you don't have a lot of like. Actually, but I know it's coming back to Twinkies. But if you don't like have all that food and stuff, you won't have iron resistance. So you won't have those vitamins. And you can take vitamin multivitamins. They're really good for you. But the big thing that's wrong with them, they can have like like gummy bears, stuff like that.
You mean gummy bear vitamins?
Yeah, or like your gummy vitamins.
Yeah.
They tend to have a lot of sugar in them. Like my mom went to the store, picked up some like zinc for me because zinc is good for you.
Your immune system.
Yeah, good for a lot.
A lot of things, yeah. Healing.
Yeah. Then it had like 15 grams of sugar for like one little thing because it's coated with sugar.
Wow.
And it's like takes away what you're getting from the zinc. It's like, just get the stuff. I mean, if you get a pill, if you can swallow pills, I think that's really good also because usually it doesn't have any sugar. But if you want like a gummy or something like that, it might not taste good, but it doesn't taste terrible, and it's worth not having
If they have a no sugar gummy.
no sugar, like even like 2 grams of sugar or something like that. It's still not good for you.
Awesome. Well, you've given us a lot of great information. It's been fun talking to you about your aspirations, your dreams of playing NBA. I know we're looking forward to the season this year and watching Zannis crush everybody. Yeah, I'm excited to see what is in store for you as you get older. And anything else you want to leave our guests and our listeners with?
You guys should eat healthy because that'll really help your body. And if you go to a library or something like that, try to go to like the health section if they have one, or magazines where it's just healthy foods, stuff like non-fat foods, or not non-fat, but like good fats, stuff like that, avocados, stuff like that. Or look on YouTube, like just look up like healthy breakfasts or stuff like that. Get some good healthy cookbooks. Or if you want to make something, or like if you want dinner, usually there might be like a frozen thing. Like you could get these frozen meals that are like good for you. If you just pack your freezer with them, they're so good. You heat them up and it'll take like a minute or two, and they have like very good nutritious values. But if you don't have that stuff, or if you don't want to go doing what you want to do, and you end up going out somewhere at dinner where you have like juicy burger or something, you can have that cheat day. You can have that burger. Or even if you're not on a diet and you still should eat healthy. Try to eat healthy. So if you don't want to have a diet, kind of mom says, well, you shouldn't be on a diet because just don't say that. Just do eat, well, I'm still on a diet. I don't really care. But like, just eat healthy and eat healthy. Look on YouTube, find all that healthy stuff. Just really deep dive into all these healthy stuff. It's really interesting. Well, to me, it's very interesting. And I think things should just keep eating healthy, keep doing good, and work out and get outside. Yeah, also, another thing for healthiness, I know you can, like, you talked about this before, is in blue zones. 5 places, like, one's in Costa Rica, one's in Italy, Sardinia, there's Greece, then there's one place in California. You might be thinking, like, California? Well, it's, like, somewhere else in California, but it's, like, good island and stuff. And then one...
Loma Linda. It's like a hour or so from LA. Yeah.
Yeah, but where's the other one now?
Okinawa.
Yeah. So these 5 places are called zones. If you're interested in like them, after I talk about this, there's a Netflix show. But so basically, these are 5 places where all of the people there, they all live like 100 years old or more. 100 years or more. They live long. They're healthy. They're like taking runs and playing sports at like 105 years old, because there's like many different things. Sheep milk or goat milk is really good for you because it has
polyphenols.
Polyphenols, really good for you. Something like that.
I guess it does. Yeah, aged cheeses are really good for you.
Like fennel cheese, Greek cheese. It's really good for you, stuff like that. And the religious stuff, meditating, stuff like that. You don't have to do all that stuff, and it's really interesting, I think. And I think the 30th of August, if you are already watching it, might already be out, but August 30th, I think, 2023 is, I think it's 23. But on Netflix, it talks all about that.
They're having a show about it?
Yeah, they're having a show and episodes. I think it's very interesting, and if you convert your lifestyle to, like, clearing out, you don't clear out your pantry, but have like a healthy section. Like, we have a healthy section at the very back where you like, and you go down to our pantry, there's like keto stuff, all that, like, I don't know, Quest, things what's called, bark, all that stuff, all the healthy stuff. So you can have some of that. I like a healthy section.
Shout out to Tim Bilyeu. He's the founder of Quest.
If you go in your pantry, you're like, oh, there's all this sugary stuff, or you look at your refrigerator, there's sugary stuff, like snack pack, stuff like that. Then you're like, you're gonna probably eat that. But if your refrigerator has like all these fresh fruits, juices, amazing stuff like that, or stuff like
Juices?
Juice and cream.
I thought juice was bad.
Not if you get like pulp juice or stuff like that. Not very bad for you.
Okay.
Or if you like 100% juice, they're not. Don't like think that they're bad for you. That you can still have some. But another thing is like, if all that stuff is healthy and stuff, then you're probably gonna eat something else. Also, if you know one more thing before we go, or if you want to say something after me. So everyone usually, we're in a small town, so people who have bigger towns than us, maybe the town, there's usually like one healthy place, maybe more like 3, but there's healthy place you do. It's like all healthy. So like that, if you don't have that, it's some healthy stuff. I mean, I don't know. Or like have like HelloFresh or stuff like that, where it's all healthy. But as I was saying, we go to this place I just went there yesterday night called Vine, which really good stuff like that. And Panera, Chipotle, it's all really healthy. Panera is not that healthy, but some of the items can be. So Vine and Chipotle, the really good stuff. A lot of NBA players go to Chipotle, and one guy he plays for the Nets, and he's on USA team, Mikal Bridges. He goes there a lot. We eats like every day. So
Mikal Bridges? Yeah. That's all he eats every day?
No, that's just one of
That's one of his staples?
Yeah. And he has like a gift card that you can like, it's like for free or something. But yeah, I just eat those 2 healthy places. There's stuff like that. It's all healthy Mediterranean food that's really good for you.
And tastes delicious.
It tastes so good. But like pasta, that's not really good for you. But you have the occasional pasta because Guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoy it. Every single Friday there is a new, or every Friday or so, he tries to make a new podcast every week, maybe a couple weeks, that are all educational about beauty, fitness, and anything that has to do with any of that stuff. So tune in, subscribe, like, comment with.
Are you trying to take my job, bro? Maybe you could be a fill-in host sometimes. Okay. All right.
Comment your favorite healthy food.
Got it. Excellent advice. Thanks, bro. All right. Give Daddy a hug.
What's that? And put your favorite recipe. Comment that.
You still keep talking forever.
Yeah, okay.
That was so funny.
Finish that all.
That was funny.